You have done your research, you've created your design, you've published your Etsy listings, and now you're sitting and waiting for those listings to actually convert into sales. And here is where a lot of new Etsy print-on-demand sellers seem to get stuck or feel frustrated, is you're making progress in getting those listings active, but you are sitting and waiting for them to actually bring in those cha-ching notifications. Welcome to week 4 of the Etsy Summer Shop Challenge, where I am helping you continue to build your Etsy print-on-demand shop in small pockets of time, even though you're having a busy summer. And today our focus is learning how to optimize your listings. Finishing your listings in the right way so that you are showcasing your designs and your products in the best possible light for your customers. If we haven't met before, hi there. My name is Emily. I am a busy mom of 2 and Etsy print-on-demand seller who loves helping others start, grow, and scale their Etsy print-on-demand shop with practical tips and strategies. I am in the trenches with you every single week as I am running my own Etsy print-on-demand shop and sharing with you things that are actually working right now. Now, if you didn't catch the other Etsy Summer Shop Challenge series videos, I'd love for you to go here so you can catch those. In week 1, we talked about picking a focus for your Etsy shop. In week 2, we talked about finding products that are in demand and learning to create a unique product to bring to the market. And in week 3, we talked all about designing and keeping it simple and creating design templates that you can use over and over again in your shop. Now, these are things that are rooted in research. I have studied so many newer, younger Etsy shops that are making killer sales. And these are strategies that those shops are following. And they're strategies I continue to use every week in my own shop. Now, if you are having a hard time or feeling stuck in your Etsy print-on-demand shop, I'd love to invite you to come join the Gift Lab community, where I'm working with students every single day on getting over these barriers that they might be having in their shop. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I'm providing resources to provide you clarity, things like trend reports and also evergreen product reports to give you inspiration each and every month. Also providing you with endless design templates to work from, so that way you're never starting from scratch. And most importantly, having support of other Etsy sellers in a community. And we have built such an incredibly positive and wonderful community. So I'd love for you to check it out below. And you also get 7 days free to make sure it's a great fit for you. All right, so let's talk about optimized listings. Now, I have talked with Etsy sellers, and I will take myself back to when I first started. The idea of optimized listings just feels so vague and so broad. And so today I want to break down what actually makes up an optimized listing. That's a listing that is primed for people to purchase. It is set up in a way that makes Etsy buyers want to click on it, give their credit card information to Etsy, and actually buy that product. Now, we've already covered a couple elements that make up an optimized listing. Number 1 is having your ideal customer. That's that focus we talked about in week 1, your person plus moment idea. Maybe that's a nursing school graduate. Maybe that's an accountant who's finishing tax season, right? You have kind of that ideal customer in mind for that specific product. The second thing that's required of an optimized listing is having done your research beforehand, because you want to make sure before anything else that your idea is actually in demand, because you could create the most beautiful design, have the most perfectly curated SEO, but if no one is looking for that product, then it's really not doing any good. So you want to make sure that you have done both of those things before we move on to the next pieces. Then we have what we talked about in last week of the challenge, which is creating simple yet beautiful designs, and also having those design templates that you can reuse again, but having simple designs that speak to your specific customer. Now, you have all of those puzzle pieces in place, and what creating an optimized listing actually looks like on Etsy is being able to curate that in a way so that you're presenting Etsy buyers with a great first impression of your product. You're also giving Etsy the tools it needs to know who to show your product to. So let's dive into a few key areas of creating an optimized listing. The first one, and what I feel like is one of the most important pieces of this, is mockups. This is one I am super passionate about because I have seen it make or break listings in the past, including my own. Having worked with many aspiring new Etsy print on demand sellers, I have seen, and myself included, trying to use the Printify or print provider mockups that are provided. And while those can be beautiful, it depends on the product that you're selling. More often than not, I do recommend purchasing mockups that you can use in your Etsy shop. And they can truly make all the difference. Here is an example of a Printify mockup for one of my favorite products, the hardcover matte journal. And if you've just started tuning into this channel, you should know that these hardcover matte journals are one of my very favorite from Printify. I love them. 10 out of 10 recommend. And right now in the Gift Lab community, we are actually doing a 7-day journal challenge to help you get your first journal listings up and optimized. But you can see here, this is a kind of standard mock-up that you might have. And I want to show you how that compares if you purchase just a couple dollars worth of high quality mockups. So you can see here how this looks stylized, it looks beautiful, it feels modern, and it looks photographed. All of those elements are going to be very key when it comes to really bringing in your audience into your listing. So when you're comparing kind of a standard mockup to a stylized mockup, the stylized one is generally going to win. Now, one of the best things is that you can, as I said, buy these on Etsy for a really low price. So you can see here on Etsy how you can find really, really beautiful mockups, and these can be as low as less than $2. And just spending even $4 or $5 on these mockups is going to make a huge difference in people, number one, trusting your shop, number two, being interested in the product that you're offering, and it's going to present your design in a really beautiful way. And so these mockups are truly key to really getting those customers in the front door of your listing. Okay, moving on to the second important piece of optimizing your listings and really displaying them in a way that is setting you up for success. And that's going to be your SEO. Now, I have done some deep dives on my SEO strategy. You can catch one of those here, but I want to break down a few key things about SEO. Number one, SEO is really important. It is important. But also, I'd like to go back to that idea of an in-demand product. If your product isn't in demand, then your SEO isn't really going to matter all that much. So when you're kind of weighing these elements, I don't want you to put so much emphasis on SEO that you're kind of forgetting all the other pieces. All of these things work together like a puzzle, and so it's important to put enough emphasis on each of them. SEO is important, but it is not the end all be all. And that's because what's most important is just focusing on products and creating products that people want. And ultimately, that is going to be what is most important. Now, breaking down a few key things about SEO. What is SEO? SEO is simply search engine optimization. What does that mean in beginner terms like I am? That basically means using keywords in your listing that describe the product and will put them in front of the buyer that is searching for that kind of product. Basically, we want to find those people that are typing in the search bar on Etsy and make sure that our relevant product is showing up for them. Now, I simplify SEO in a lot of ways. I am not, as I mentioned in last week's video, too keen on focusing 100% on keyword scores. For me, I really want to focus on what are buyers naturally searching for and how can I meet them where they are. Now, there are a few key areas you want to put your SEO, your keywords. The first is going to be your title, and you get up to 140 characters in your title. So you want to make sure you are using relevant keywords. One of my recommendations is not Number one, duplicating keywords as much as you can, trying to limit that as much as possible. You also, again, want to focus on what are people typing in the search bar. So, not necessarily describing the product. We talked about blankets last week. It's not that we want to type in velveteen microfiber blanket, but what are those people actually typing in? So, I'm going to walk through a quick example with you here. All right, I have 3 questions that I ask myself when I'm writing my SEO. Number one is, who is this for? So I want you to think about the exact person. We should have already done that when we kind of created our focus and did our research, but think about the exact person who would use or love your product. For example, in this case, let's say we've designed a hockey blanket. It could be hockey players, hockey coaches, hockey parents, hockey moms, etc. The second question I want you to think of and brainstorm is, what occasions would someone be getting or giving this product for, especially if you're in the giftable space? So let's say it can fit into these different moments that we've talked about. We've talked about the person plus the moment. This is the moment. So that same blanket might be a gift for a hockey senior night. It might be a thank you gift for a coach. It might be an end of the year gift for a hockey team mom. Those are the things you want to think about, because instead of typing in velveteen microfiber blanket or Sherpa blanket necessarily, that person is going to be typing in hockey team senior night gifts, right? And we want to make sure that our product is showing up when that happens. And the third question, which is sometimes relevant, sometimes not, is who is giving this gift? So, for example, you'll see a lot of keywords that do really well, or products that do well, where it's something like wedding day gift for dad from daughter or from bride. So, think about too, if it's relevant, who that product might be from. So, is it from the hockey parents? Is it from the hockey coach? Is it a grandparent gift to their grandchildren? Think about those things. Sometimes that's going to be important, sometimes it's not. So you kind of have to use your judgment based on that. So when it comes to a title example, here is an example of what that might look like. And, some Etsy coaches will tell you to shorten your titles. Some will tell you to add as many keywords as you can. One of the things that I think is most important, because I think there's the ability to have success across the board, is that you really want to anchor your title with the most important keywords at the front. So what is it that you kind of want that product to be known for? What is that main set of keywords that is going to be most important? But this is just an example. And again, there's the ability to have success with different approaches to this, but I'm sharing with you what has worked for me and for my students in the community. Now, outside of the title, the other place you want to include these keywords is going to be at the beginning of your product description. I recommend incorporating a couple organic sentences. So, for example, taking some of these keywords and saying, this personalized ice hockey blanket makes for a great gift for senior night, hockey coaches, et cetera, et cetera. So you kind of want to incorporate it in more of an organic way. The last place you'll want to use your keywords is in your tags, and you get 13 tags. One of the rules of that is that you never want to have any single word tags, and you want to try to avoid anything that's too generic. Same in your title. Things like gifts for women or Christmas gift, those things are going to be way too generic and not help you optimize your listing. Whereas if we approached it like this, here are a few examples of some tags that you could possibly use. Now, there is a character limit, so you would need to check on that. You're able to use 20 characters per tag, but you want to make sure you're maximizing your space there, and the diversity in your keywords will be important so that you're hitting all the right customers. So we've hit on mockups, we have hit on SEO. Those are two really, really important parts of optimizing your listing. Couple smaller things that are going to be important. The next one is pricing. Pricing is also an important way to optimize your listing. Couple quick tips about pricing is we want to do our research to see what other print on demand sellers are pricing their products. And that's going to be important because you never want to be at the tippy top or the most expensive, but you also don't want to have such a low price either. We want to find ourselves in a happy medium. The other thing I recommend is making sure that you are pricing your products to have at least ideally a 30% or higher profit margin. That is going to build in a solid profit for you and also a safety net, in case of any issues or, fees or anything like that. You want to make sure that you are really building in a 30% profit margin. Now, when you are calculating your pricing, there's a lot of pricing calculators out there you can use. And if you're using Printify, which is my go-to print partner, they have a pricing calculator built in right on the screen when you are creating a product. And they make it super, super easy to do this. You can see here, they already have all of the details here regarding the product. And you can simply click profit calculator. When you go to the profit calculator, Printify will automatically bring in kind of how much that product cost. And so you can type in your desired profit margin here, and it's going to give you some recommendations. The other thing is you can simply select Etsy here, and it's going to factor in those fees. What's nice is that you can really bring up your profit quite a bit, especially on these journals. They have a really solid profit margin. And so you're able to kind of experiment with that. But again, you never want to be at the tippy top, and you certainly do not kind of want to lowball your products. We want to be in a healthy medium place, and that way we are competitive while not dropping prices and sinking them. And one of the last places where you can really optimize your listings is under attributes. So on your listings, Etsy will give you the opportunity to add some specific attributes about your product. Don't feel pressured to have to fill all of this in. But if there are key attributes that would be helpful in terms of letting Etsy know what your product is and where it should be, you can select those here. So for example, they have things like, depending on your product type, dishwasher safe, microwave safe, et cetera, et cetera. Some of the really big ones, especially if you're designing in the party and event space or occasions, being able to pick what that occasion is can be very helpful. Also, the holiday. And again, you're just able to pick those materials and pick those additional kind of characteristics around the product. And that can also be very helpful as well. Okay, we have really gotten into a lot of different nitty-gritty details today. Mockups, keywords and SEO, pricing, attributes, all of those things. So something I want to share with you just as an honest take is that you aren't going to be able to nail this from day one. If I look at my day one listings, honestly, they still make me laugh, but also make me smile because it's an indicator of how far I've come. And the same goes for my students. When I see their listing, one day, and then a month later, I see another listing and how much they've grown and learned in that process. So the ability to create these optimized listings is not going to be something that happens overnight. This is going to take practice and repetition. So for your challenge this week, what I would like you to do is take one of your existing listings and do a little bit of an audit on it. And I want you to look at the 4 things that we talked about today. I want you to look at your mock-ups. I want you to see, do these feel high quality? Do they feel stylized? Do they fit my customer? Then I want you to take a look at your keywords, your title, your tags, your description, and make sure you're thinking about those 3 questions we talked about. Then I want you to scroll on down to your pricing and do some comparison. Make sure you use a profit calculator like on Printify to check that you are actually making a profit, but that you're also priced in a competitive yet strong way. And also, I want you to check out all of those attribute details and see if there's anything else you could fill in there for the future. So that's it for this week. I want you to just do that audit and learn how to kind of self-audit your own listing and see if there's any room in there for continued optimization of your listings. We have one more week of the Etsy Summer Shop Challenge, and it's probably the week I am most excited for. We're not talking about any tools. We're not even talking about trends or designs, but we're talking about one thing that can truly make or break your Etsy success in the long term. My name's Emily, and I'll see you next time.